Hey guys, Will here, and I'm with Link.
Hey guys, how you doing today? Um, this should be coming out on Christmas, right, William?
It should, yeah, if everything
All
goes
right.
right, it should. So, Merry Christmas to everyone who's watching
Merry
this,
Christmas, everyone. We
even if you're
thought we'd
watching
give
this
you a little
afterwards,
gift by reviewing The Mandalorian season 2.
in all of its entirety.
Yep. We're gonna take a break from the Disney Investors Day series, but don't worry, that will be coming up soon.
Yeah, third part's gonna be coming out soon after this, so that's the final
Well,
part of it. Also, the third part is the final part. Anyways,
all
so
right.
you want to
Well,
do like an overall rating first before we discuss it?
all right. So maybe you should give. Yeah, let's do that.
So I'll go first. I think I would overall rate this season as a 9. I think it's better than the first season, for sure. There are some things that prevent it from becoming a 10, and we can get into that, but I'm going to have it as a 9 right now.
I would actually have to agree with you. I've been very skeptical of this season when it started. The first episode was awesome, but you
Hmm.
there are some episodes that just brought the series down from it being a 10. So I'd have to say it's either an 8.5 or a 9. So well, I'll go with a 9. I'll round it up and go with a 9. So I agree with you.
Yeah. I think I think once we go over like each episode, we can kind of talk about like the overall bad things about it, about each thing. I mean, let me tell you, the least important, like it feels like in the very beginning, he still kind of isn't doing anything really important. I think like around
Very true.
episode 3 it really picks up. So before that it kind of is kind of slow.
I would agree with that. The beginning is kind of slow. The first episode, even though it was awesome with Cobb Vanth and the Marshal,
Mhm.
uh, it's just really awesome to. Or sorry, it was just kind of slow. Even though they killed a Krayt Dragon, it was just the pacing was a little weird. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I think the overall the first episode did have like really cool parts. And I know we've discussed that how like it's just a Death Star getting blown up in it, and Boba Fett's armor, and then the surprise thing where it's like, oh, Boba Fett's alive at the end.
That
Those are pretty
was
cool,
awesome.
and the Great Dragon, but the kind of way it went about, it was just like he shows up to this place looking for a Mandalorian, runs into the Marshal. Marshal's like, here's a side quest. We have to kill a Great Dragon.
Wait, so just before we talk about any of the episodes, I know we already talked about episode 9. Um, let's just say the name of the episode and give a brief overview of each of them.
Okay,
Um, so
sounds good.
episode 9, since we already were talking about it, is the
Well,
Marshal.
Chapter 9, Episode 1 of Season
Chapter
2.
9. Oh yeah, Chapter 9. Um, it's the Marshal, and basically it's the Krayt Dragon, where they killed the Krayt Dragon. Cobb Vanth has Boba Fett's armor, and like William said, Boba Fett shows up. He did a good job explaining that one. Actually, I don't know if we need to explain it. Uh, Chapter 10, Episode 2 is the Passenger.
It had okay. So Chapter 10 was the one where he pretty much has to not use hyperspace. He's trying to get this frog lady to a planet, and they get jumped by the police and forced down into an ice planet where they get attacked by big spider creatures.
Yes.
Um,
Uh,
that's probably the worst episode of of the season, I
I
would
would
say.
totally agree. The frog lady that I thought was a lizard lady, was kind of annoying.
Yeah, the frog lady. I mean, it looked really good. Like the frog lady's design and stuff like that. It was actually really good. They did really
Hmm.
well. They do very well when it comes to like the aliens and stuff like that.
Totally agree.
I didn't even like think about it until just now, but like that felt real. Like I
That
just
did feel real.
yeah. So like I mean, it does. good with that, and the monsters I think also have cool design. And I was like, this is like some horror movie stuff, which is kind of a tonal shift, but I think it was kind of good just for that episode. But it kind of just annoyed me, the episode though overall, I would say.
It felt like a waste of an episode. I know when we discussed it when it first came out, I was like, well, we only get 8 episodes this season, and we got that. You know, they could have just skipped that. I wouldn't have been bothered.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they could have had this whole episode, um, like and made like just them getting, well, they the reason why they had this episode, I guess, was to introduce the Rangers of the New Republic, um, to give a reason why
I
his
guess
ship
so.
is messed up. The frog thing. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. They did that for those three reasons, and just that. So pretty much it was just like, hey, we had to mess up the ship, introduce these two characters, and then Frog Lady. Which they could
All
have done
right.
that in like under 10 minutes in like the third episode if they wanted to.
I totally agree with that. So would you like to read chapter 11, episode 3?
Sure, sure. So this is the episode where they finally reach. I don't remember what planet it is, but they reach the sea planet, which has a bunch of the I forgot what they're called, but the squid and then the Mon Calamari, and which pretty much is Admiral Akbar's people. And so there's that. They're at the sea planet. He's looking for a Mandalorian, because that's what he's been doing these past 3 episodes, right? And he runs into this squid person who's like, "Hey, we can help you find them. We've seen them." They try to kill him, and then Bo-Katan with 2 other Mandalorians appear to rescue him. Now, then they go and take down an Imperial like supply ship, I guess you could say, that has a bunch of resources and weapons and stuff, and they take it for themselves.
And Mando finds out that Moff Gideon is still alive.
No, 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 no. He finds all that out next episode.
Oh yeah, you're
Bo-Katan
right.
asks about it.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
So at this point, he still thinks Moff Gideon's dead. But I mean, the episode was good, for sure. With the Mandalorians, I really like to see the Mandalorians, like other Mandalorians. Um,
Yeah. I'll talk. I guess we'll talk a little bit more about the Mandalorians in that episode because there's one in particular actress that I liked. Um, the episode was called The Heiress. Um, so overall, that was a good episode. I thought it was kind of iffy in some parts, but the first few in the past season were a little iffy too, in my opinion.
yeah.
You know, it's weird.
What's
No,
weird?
I'll say it later. I'll say it later.
Okay.
Okay. Chapter 12, episode 4 is the siege.
Which is when Mando goes to Navarro. He goes back to Navarro because he wants to get the ship fixed, I think. No, no, no. Yeah, he wants to get his ship refixed because the Mon Calamari guy didn't do a good job. Like, good enough job. Like, he put it back together to where it could fly, but not, like, safely. So he goes back to Navarro. And then, was it Grief Cargo? That's his name, right?
Brief cargo.
And then I forgot what, and Cara Dune rope him into taking down an Imperial fortress that was doing genetic testing. Which,
And this is when he finds out Moff Gideon is still alive.
that's when he finds out Moff Gideon's still alive.
Very true. And it has the best cinematic scene within either of these 2 seasons, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
And the sense of it, with the scout troopers riding the speeder bikes. That's an amazing scene, cinematically. Just looks amazing.
Yeah, I would agree so. Alright.
All right, and you ready to explain chapter 13,
Yes, sir.
episode 4, The Jedi, which is kind of weird to call it The Jedi.
Yeah,
I guess it's because he thinks he's finding the Jedi. Um, this is the one with Ahsoka, which uh, it has, I forget her name. Crap.
Rosario Dawson.
The one, no, the one, I'll just call her the one lady with the Beskar staff for spear.
Oh, I thought you meant the actor for Ahsoka. My bad.
No, no. She's holding a place captive, and Ahsoka's obviously trying to free the people because Ahsoka is like that. Which is good. So Mando goes to find her and gets roped into trying to capture Ahsoka, but he has no
He
intention
gets
of capturing
roped
Ahsoka.
into a lot of things.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh wait, no, I'm on your side. Don't kill me." And then they both take over back the city, and he gets a Beskar spear.
And you find out Baby Yoda's name, which is
Oh,
Grogu.
yes.
Yes.
Dude, this is why we have a team, because William remembers everything, and I kind of don't.
You remember the stuff that you find important. You didn't really care about the
Yes.
name. You used to call him Baby
I
Yoda.
mean, I still call him Baby Yoda. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
Just preference.
I mean, here in this episode, we find out Grogu. We find out a couple things about Baby Yoda. His name's Grogu. He was at the Jedi Temple. He was trained by multiple masters. I mean, that's some stuff. He's been hiding his abilities, which is why he's not as strong as he could be. That's why he needs training.
And he also, Ahsoka. Oh, I forgot this part. Oh, no, keep going. Sorry.
No. You say your part because I kind of ran out of things.
Because this is an important thing, too. Ahsoka will not train him because he has a connection to someone. Like a strong connection to Mando.
Reminds her of Anakin. Doesn't say Anakin, but reminds her of Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's not even a Jedi, which is why you were saying it's weird that it's called Jedi.
But I understand why, because it's like, oh, I'm finding the Jedi that will train Grogu.
Grogu. What a... I don't know, the name's kind of growing on me. It's kind of like how we found out the Mandalorian's name last season.
Din Djarin.
Yeah, Din Djarin. And then I like the name now. But before,
I still use them
like...
interchangeably. I still say, like, Mando, Din Djarin, Din. You know, it's just...
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on my mood, I guess.
Alright, so
Alright.
the next episode is the one where Ahsoka also told them to travel to a planet called Typhus, which in legend is like the home world of Force users. I believe in legends, anyways. I don't know what its canon significance is though. But they're going there now, and this is one of the better episodes because you have the return of characters like Boba Fett and this assassin sniper lady from the first season.
I can't remember her name to save my life.
Isn't it like Fennec? Is that it? I could be wrong.
I don't know. I have no clue. I honestly could not tell you. You're probably right though. That sounds somewhat.
I think it starts with an F at least, but we just call her Sniper Assassin Lady for short.
Yes, and this episode's called The Tragedy.
It's a tragedy because in the end, Baby Yoda gets snatched by dark troopers under Moff Gideon's orders. I mean, the episode was like, hey, Mandalorian, bring Baby Yoda here. Baby Yoda sits in a protective shielding for like 30 minutes while Boba Fett and Mando come to a deal where Boba Fett's gonna help the Mando out, protect the child, and all three of them, the Mando, Boba, and then I'm gonna say Fennec when I don't know if it's Fennec or not, just take down waves of stormtroopers. Those poor guys.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance.
And what's cool is Boba actually uses You know the staff he was using?
Oh yes,
That was
that's like
the Tusken Raider staff, dude. It's pretty epic.
that was pretty cool, and he just like demolished everyone.
Reminds me of the Armorer in her final stand.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
actually, I don't know
that's
if she
true.
died though. The Armorer might still be alive. But yeah. So the Baby Yoda gets taken at the end, and so he goes back to
And
Cara Dune, and it foreshadows the next episode because they're going to get Mayfield.
also, and Boba being a man of his word, protecting the child, fulfills the deal by um, saying he'll help Mando get Baby Yoda back or Grogu back from Moff Gideon. Oh, and this also has a really cool scene. This is the one with the really cool scene with Moff Gideon holding the dark saber out
Yeah.
next to
After Grogu like
and
force chokes people, pretty much.
uh-huh, which was really cool. All right, so the next one is the Believer.
Which
This
I think that's actually my favorite one.
Do you think this is your favorite one? I
I
think this is a really good episode.
Now we didn't actually talk about episode or chapter 15 or 16 because we just didn't do a video for those. So we actually have not even heard each other's opinions about this. But I think chapter 15 is my favorite episode of the season. And I think
I would
16 is my
I would
second
have
favorite.
to I would have to disagree. I'd say it's the opposite from yours. I'd have 16 as my favorite and 15 as my second favorite. But
I have a valid reason for 16 not being my favorite.
all right, we'll talk
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
talk about it when we get to chapter 16. Um,
All right, the
but
Believer. This is when. Okay, you explain because you remember stuff a lot better than I do.
So this is the episode where they go and get Bill Burr's character, which is Mayfield, and I don't think you know this, Lincoln, but Bill Burr is a comedian, so that's why his character is always cracking jokes. Um, so Mayfield is an ex-stormtrooper, Imperial stormtrooper, so they need him to help them, like, find out Moff Gideon's location. So he says, there is a way we can do it, but we have to go to an Imperial like base, pretty much. They go to this planet that has like an underground base where the native people are kind of revolting against the Imperials, which I think is a very interesting aspect. And they actually talk about that a little bit, kind of like as like an underlining like theme, but it's not too important to the main thing of the episode. Mando takes a step out of his comfort zone, and he takes the armor of I don't know what kind of trooper it is, but it reminds me of a stormtrooper, but like muddy, like a muddy
A
shore trooper.
shore trooper. Shore?
Well, a shore
Did you
trooper
say
is what?
storm?
Well, a shore trooper is the thing from Rogue One.
Yeah.
It looks like that, but like dark.
Yeah, it does look a little different, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it's a different color. I think it's more like a bomb unit almost. You know what I mean? Because they're handling like
Yeah, because in
explosive
Rogue One
material.
they have like a tanker unit, don't they? Too.
Yeah.
It might be that.
So pretty much.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So pretty much,
Uh,
Mando wears this. Him and Mayfield get attacked while they're delivering this. They're the only people that were able to deliver because everyone else got killed. They're seen as heroes. Everyone's cheering for them. They're clapping. They're like, hey, they're saluting them. They get back.
mhm.
Then they find the place that they need to do, like to get the information. But there's a trick. To do it, you have to take off your helmet.
Yeah,
And Mayfield, seeing a commanding officer that he used to be under, is afraid of getting caught. So the Mandalorian steps even further out of his comfort zone and takes off his helmet to do the face analyzing thing.
definitely a turning point in his character because he's no longer. I think he realizes that he's no longer bound to that. He's just willing. He's his own character rather than kind of in the Mandalorian group. He's himself. He's willing to do whatever is necessary to protect the child.
His I'm gonna say love for the child supersedes his creed.
Yes, agreed. I think that's a really big turning point for the character.
And they even touch on this because Mayfield talks to him in the tank thing about it. But in any case, the commanding officer that knows Mayfield, or Mayfield thought that he would remember him, sees the Mandalorian without his helmet on, doing the analyzing thing, goes to sees what's up because he's kind of acting like suspicious.
Hmm.
Mayfield comes in with all the terminology, saves their butts, but then the commanding officer wants a drink, and then Mayfield just kind of loses it, bringing up Operation
Operation
Cinder,
Cinder,
which was in
which
the
is from
Battlefront,
Battlefront 2.
yeah, Battlefront 2's
Yeah,
campaign.
that was really cool because you never see them reference like video games like that. You know,
Yeah, I know. I was
it's
very
just
surprised that they did that, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
I was like, what? They did that? Because it's usually like the video games are separate entirely. They don't reference them. Like most of the Star Wars video games aren't even canon, I don't think.
Well, I guess Battlefront 2's canon now.
I
Because
mean, I think so.
Kylo Ren was in it too. Because it explains how they get the information. Because the ending thing is you as Kylo Ren taking the information. I forgot from what his name is. But then Mayfield just kind of loses it, and he kills the commanding officer. Then pretty much they do an escape where they end up blowing up everyone in the base, and then
He's set free.
yeah, then he's set free. They're like, oh, it's a shame that a prisoner, whatever his prisoner number was, died on this trip, and then he leaves. Which I don't know
All
what he's
right.
gonna do. I mean, he's stuck. He's stuck on this planet
I
without like a
know.
way to go. I was like, damn. I was like, why couldn't he just like come along for the ride? But I think
I
there's a reason for that in chapter 16,
oh,
which
I know what you mean. I
yeah.
think I know the reasoning too. Um, so chapter 16, the rescue. This is the one where they go and actually rescue Grogu from
Yep.
Moff Gideon, and basically, uh, Den sneaks off to get Grogu while the ladies kind of do their own thing and just like
Well,
kill all the
okay, let me
stormtroopers.
tell you, the episode begins off with Boba and the Mandalorian finding Bo-Katan and Sasha
Oh
Banks's
yes,
character. I don't
yes,
even know what her name is, but they find these two girls who are Mandalorians, and for some reason Boba and them kind of like disagree because Bo-Katan knows he's a clone because his voice, which was
yeah,
actually very cool. Um,
yeah.
but
That
then
was stupid.
but then
Uh,
Boba gets into a fight with this girl, and she kind of like she makes Boba
holds
look
her own.
weak. And I was like,
Which I don't. I thought that was kind of dumb because Boba would be any Mandalorian any day. I don't care.
he's the deadliest bounty
He's
hunter in the galaxy.
Yeah, he
Or-
could be any Mandalorian any day, which I thought was kind of dumb that they did that, but I'm okay with it. Sasha Banks' character is cool.
Yeah, but then so then they tell Bo-Katan, the dark saber, we know where it is. We're going to go get it and the baby. We're gonna go do this. You guys should come along if you really want the dark saber. And Moff Gideon's there. So they go there with and they use a Imperial vessel that they hijacked, and who had the doctor
With
on
the
it.
scientist guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
Doctor
it
something
was
or
like
other.
Parashin, I think, is what his name was. And they actually talk about the Death Star, which is interesting. I was like, damn, because they talked about how many people died on the Death Star.
Hmm.
Yeah, but they get there, and their plan's kind of smart. Slave One's chasing down, acting like this is like an urgent matter, so you can't like wait to land or anything. And so once they get into the actual ship, Slave One just disappears for the rest of the episode. Doesn't come back. Doesn't.
No, but it did a really cool job. It was cool.
Well, the reason why they didn't have Boba Fett come back was for two reasons. The first reason is because it'd be complicated to have Boba Fett in the same room as someone who eventually shows up.
Oh, yeah.
That would be complicated in itself. which they don't want to take time away from like the emotional scene at the end to deal with that.
Yeah, that's smart.
And the second
I
reason
didn't think about
is,
that.
and this is the reason why I don't like the episode as much as the last episode. This is still my second favorite episode of the season. Is because I don't know why they did this. Like literally, they left out Boba Fett. They left out the Mandalorian because he's gonna go save Grogu. There was literally a male Mandalorian with Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks' character in the episode where we saw him, but he's gone for some reason. Like he's not there. And
Yeah.
and they're doing like kind of an assault on this Imperial ship. And Bo-Katan only brings one Mandalorian with her when she's supposed to be leading like more. And she only
That
brings
didn't make a lot of sense. Yeah.
only brings one, and it just so happens that she brings the girl Sasha Banks and not the guy with her too. And then they have like this girl power moment, which is good and all. It's definitely better than the MCU one, for sure. Because the MCU one was so out of place. Like this was fine. I was like, okay, all these characters are BA. I accept it.
Yeah.
They're cool. But then they don't take cover or anything. It's like they're just walking through the base like nothing's gonna happen. Like literally, her gun gets jammed, and she just sits against the wall, not taking cover.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then Mando isn't in time to shut off the Death Troopers, so he has to fight one and release the hatch against the others, and then you see how powerful the Death Troopers are.
They're dark troopers, Lincoln.
Oh, dark. Well, yeah, but they're Death Troopers Series 3.
Nah. They're Dark Troopers Series 3, Lincoln.
I thought they were Death Troopers Series 3.
Nah, Dark Troopers are from the Old Republic, which was.
Did I hear that wrong?
Yeah, I think
I did.
it's just Dark Troopers. I don't think they're Death Troopers.
All right, I heard it wrong then. And he manages to beat the which
one
is
that
crazy.
escapes.
The one that escapes with the Beskar spear, but it was just punching him, and it shows how formidable those are for later in the episode when they come back.
Yeah,
And the
when
next
they
part-
first got rid of them, I was afraid like they better
Yeah, I
be
was
coming
like,
back.
crap.
They can fly, right? Like we saw them fly
Yeah.
before. Anyway, but before you continue, okay, I think this final part before we talk about it, spoiler alert for you if you haven't seen this. I don't know why you'd be watching this if you haven't.
Watching, yeah.
Yeah, but like something really cool happens.
Okay.
I know
Would you
you
like to-
really like this character, so I'll let you do it. I'll let you say it.
Which Moff Gideon or the one character?
The one character.
All right. Well, I'm gonna explain the Moff Gideon part. This is kind of weird. This is a weird part. Well, it leads to a weird part. So Moff Gideon is in the chamber with Grogu, and he's like, "We already have everything we need from him," and tricks him, and then they end up fighting. And the Mandalorian does some really cool stuff, which he's
me
never
tell
been
you.
able to do.
Let me tell you, if the Mandalorian did not have Beskar armor, dude, he would be
Yeah.
so dead.
Oh my gosh! And the
Gideon
Darksaber, how
jumps
powerful
him.
it is.
Gideon like he's like hammering him away with that lightsaber, dude. And it's like,
Yeah, and
what? Just yeah. You continue.
no, it looks like the Darksaber will be able to cut through Beskar given enough time. Did it not look that way?
I mean, he was wailing on the Mandalorian, so I was like, damn.
But remember when he had it against the spear? It was just like red hot, like it was gonna cut through.
Yeah, I mean, I think pure Beskar after a while probably could get penetrated by lightsaber, but it's not gonna do like immediately. So
Well, that's weird because it's not supposed to at all. I don't think. I mean, probably. I don't know. And then Moff Gideon, I guess this was part of his plan for Mando to beat him. Oh, and at the same time, the girls get up to or not the girls,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah, the girls.
whatever you want to call them, get up to the deck. Or is that what it's called? What would you call that?
On a ship, it would be the deck. Like, I would say the control center.
The control center. And they realize Moff Gideon's not there. So Mando beats him, takes the dark saber, and for some reason, once Mando gets up there with Grogu, Bo-Katan's like, I can't take the dark saber. I have
Which
to beat you in combat
Okay,
or
let me
whatever.
say this. I never watched Rebels, but I've seen stuff because people keep complaining about this. But she took it from
Yes,
Sabine in like that
she
almost
did.
exact situation, almost, right?
Yeah,
Because doesn't she win it from Gar Saxon or something? I don't know. I never watched Rebels
it's
in its
just
entirety.
it's kind of dumb that that happened because regardless of what happened, in Rebels, it's just like you can literally just say, "Yeah, I got the dark saber from Moff Gideon," and no one's gonna question you. Like,
Yeah, like there's only one other Mandalorian there, and she's not gonna squeal. I mean, she's loyal to you. Why
yeah,
would she?
yeah, and then this is the this is intense part. Oh, you see, Moff Gideon has a blaster, which
Yeah.
William and I could not determine what happened with this. Well, this next part, coming up eventually. So you see one single X-wing of the Dark Troopers come on back on board, and you're like, oh crap, everyone's gonna die.
You're doing a
Then
Lord
you
of the
see,
Rings thing where they're breaking through this door. I don't think you've seen Lord of the Rings, right? You only seen The Hobbit. But it reminded me of Lord of the Rings thing where
yes,
they're busting through the door slowly. And they're just waiting pretty much to get stormed by dark troopers when it's time for you to jump in there.
and at this point, I'm like, because I always had the feeling that like Grogu's Jedi Master was gonna come, but at this point, when they were banging down the door, and I was like, it's almost gonna break. There's no way. Like, I guess Sten's gonna just like kill them all with the dark saber or something, and be like crazy overpowered. And then one single X-wing shows up, and then if you if you know like how that Luke rides in the X-wing, which you should know if you're a Star Wars fan, you're I literally was like screaming. I was so happy about that. I was like, "Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh." And then you just see Luke basically take out all the dark troopers, which I
And
kind of had a
a
problem
whole
with
platoon.
because they're supposed to be lightsaber resistant, which they weren't. Or in Legends they are at least.
Well, let
And they
me
were
tell you,
not.
I was afraid that like before the X-wing showed up, I was afraid Ahsoka was gonna show up and kill them all. Like all the dark troopers, like please don't be Ahsoka. Please, I don't want to see Ahsoka again. I don't want to see her do this. And I was so happy when I saw that X-wing come by. I was like, thank goodness.
And Luke basically kills everyone, or is going to kill everyone, and Moff Gideon's like, "Oh crap, this is the guy that defeated."
Yeah,
Or
like he's shaking. Like he
he's
knows
like,
who's coming.
"This is the guy that took down the Emperor," you know, or
Yeah.
at least that's what he thinks. He took down Emperor and Darth Vader because that's what the Empire would think if you see the Jedi that went into the room come out, and the Emperor and Darth Vader not come out. You're like probably thinking, "Oh crap, this guy took down both of them. He's gonna kill me."
Yeah.
And then he goes and shoots Bo-Katan, or right? Is it Bo-Katan that he
Yeah,
shoots?
yeah, it's Bo-Katan.
And I don't know if she dies, which I really hope she did. No, no, that's just me. But and then he tries to shoot Grogu, and of course, Din saves Grogu's life by jumping in front, and he tries to end his life, and Cara Dune knocks him out, and Luke with his CGI face, which I was completely fine with.
I was fine when I was watching it, but then I watched a video where they did like a redone deepfake of it, and I was like, man, that looks so much better. I was
Yeah,
When I was watching it, I was so immersed I didn't care. But then like afterwards, I'm looking at different versions like that other people did on their own free time, and I was like, it's pretty better. It's pretty better.
yeah, the lips didn't really line up with the speech, but I think it was a smart move to bring back, I guess, to animate it rather than to bring a new actor in, because then that would confuse fans a little
Nah,
bit.
everyone's like Sebastian Stan for Luke. That's what everyone says. Which I was like, I don't know. Then I looked up Sebastian Stan again just to see his face, and then right next to it is like a comparison with Luke, and I'm like, with Mark Hamill, and I was like, when he was young, I was like, I could see it. He just needs to like get less muscular and
No,
different hair.
no, no way. I just looked up an image of that. He does look like Luke. What the heck?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, Sebastian Stan would work. Like if they brought him in,
Yeah,
he would work. And I was like, oh,
that's insane.
his way of talking would have to, I don't know, he'd have to change it though.
Yeah. And basically, you have this moment where, like, I kind of got teary-eyed, to be honest. I don't know if you did, William. Where Mando's like, bye, and then R2-D2 comes up and it's like, it's okay, Grogu. You know, the way R2-D2 would.
Yeah.
And you're just
Mando,
like, holy crap.
he took off his helmet to say goodbye because Grogu's actually never seen
Yes.
his head, his face, before. First time.
And then I was thinking for a little bit, why didn't he give Grogu the dark saber? And I was like, oh, Grogu's tiny.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think
this
that would
when he
work.
grows up, he's still not gonna be able to hold the dark saber. But that
Yeah.
would have been really cool.
Nah, he should have challenged Luke to single combat over fatherhood, and he should have fought Luke. Nah, Luke would have killed him so quick, because Luke was closer to Legends Luke than he was to canon Luke, and that
Agreed.
which
I thought
prefer.
it was kind of. I thought it was kind of. I thought they could have made it cooler, but also at the same time,
Yeah.
that was just insane. It was way better in Ahsoka. He was way better in Ahsoka. I don't care what anybody says. Luke will always be more powerful than Ahsoka.
I mean, Ahsoka like couldn't even like really, like, she looked so much weaker in this. than
Yeah.
ever. Like,
The way Luke came in, he would have taken that whole village in like a minute.
yeah.
And that was awesome. So that's why we gave it a 9 out of 10. What do you think are some strengths of this season 2?
The perspectives they try to show.
Oh, that's a great answer. I totally agree.
I think the father relationship between, like, father son kind of relationship that Grogu and didn't have going on, I think that's a strength.
I also think the perspective of maybe the Empire were the good guys
Yeah.
was
I
an
gotta be
interesting thing
honest.
to play with.
That's one of the reasons why I like the episode before the last one, chapter 15, the most, is because I feel so bad for those stormtrooper remnants, man.
I know, because they were all cheering and then they just
Like,
got
oh,
killed.
yay! They made it! They made it! Like, this, all this
And
and
it-
that.
It
And
shows
Mayfield
there's
just,
two sides on both ends of the war, you know? Like, they're both believe in their side and they're both like, this is the right thing to do.
yeah.
But maybe it's neither, you know?
Well, I think with the Rangers of the New Republic show, we're gonna see their perspective and see like what they think of the situation. But like, I hopefully they do a lot of perspective work in that show. But
Yes.
now we have the end credit scene.
Oh, I completely forgot. Sorry, I went on to the strengths. We'll come back to strengths. We're gonna go to the end credit scene.
And then you see Jabba's palace with Bib Fortuna. I
Yes.
remembered his name, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
Bib Fortuna got big. He got
Uh-huh.
big. And I was like, and then Boba just shows up with his assassin lady, who's like, I guess, just like oath to him, kind of like a oath kind of thing going on there. And so
I think so.
she's like a life debt. That's what it is. And so, I guess he wants to become the leader of Bib Fortuna's crew. I guess. Well, he actually killed everyone, but he wants Jabba's palace.
Yeah, he wants the underground, which is awesome.
And that could it leads to a new show. Okay, this is what I've what I think.
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I think this is what Dave Filoni said, is that they're gonna take a year off from the Mandalorian and then do book of Boba Fett, then do a season 3 of Mandalorian. I think that's what he said.
Oh, really? I would not be.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what he said.
That's okay, I guess. At least we're getting some Star Wars. Awesome. everything awesome within that last episode. I know you didn't like some parts, but which I can kind of see why. But I think that was an awesome way to finish off the show. So back to strength and weakness, or strengths. So you said perspective for father son, light and dark, which is um, rebels versus empire,
And then there's
right?
also the inclusion of a lot of other like stuff like Clone Wars, Rebels, movies. I guess it included a lot more stuff, a lot more Easter eggs,
Hmm.
a lot of fan service. They had a lot of fan service.
Okay, and I also say a strength of it is so I'm just gonna use this as an example. Like they did in the, I don't really know how we would say this. I'm not really big into film words and stuff like that. Um, but they did nostalgia right.
Hmm.
Is that the right way? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
Because
I
in
don't
the
know if that's
Force
the right way, but
Awakens,
I know what you mean though. Because Force
all right,
Awakens, like I would agree, did
did
it.
it wrong. I think they
Yeah.
did it wrong. Like they were just like, here's something. We're gonna put everything on the back of this something. And it's like, here's something. This is going off this way, and Din is still going off a different way. So it's just, it was it was awesome the way they did that. Um,
Yeah.
the characters were awesome.
The characters
Um,
were all good. I mean, these
aliens were
weren't
really
like
good.
the aliens. The alien designs were fantastic. I'm hoping to
I
see that
will
in all the other shows too.
I will say it was a little um not as good as season one in my opinion, but still up there.
Well, what aliens did they really like
I don't
showcase?
know. Well, I'm talking about aliens and creatures. I feel like,
Oh, like the Mudhorn. You like the Mudhorn more?
yeah, I feel like even though there was a krayt dragon in this series, and what is it called, a loaf cat or whatever, is that what it's called?
You talking about the spider thing?
No, but I feel like last season did a little bit better. I don't think it's much of a difference, but the creatures were awesome. It made me feel like I was in the Star Wars world. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
I will
like what we were
complain a
saying,
little
the
bit.
frog looked real. You know.
Uh huh.
Yeah. You're gonna complain.
Totally. No, I'll wait for the weaknesses. Um, another strength. So we were talking about characters, and I interrupted. I'm sorry. Really strong characters, different, compelling motivations.
I mean,
Even though
good
they're
villain.
different. Yes, Moff Gideon, amazing. Thrawn, but kind of like Thrawn, but a little less. You know.
Yeah.
Um. So my question is, with Moff Gideon, was it his plan that they'd let the Dark Troopers out so Mando could take the dark saber from him, where Bo-Katan would have to defeat him?
Well, Moff Gideon knew that the Dark Troopers were like sent out into space, and so then he went to where Grogu was. And I
I
mean,
guess either way it would have worked.
yeah, I mean Gideon's plan was for them to kill each other, so
Yeah.
or at least buy time for the Dark Troopers to come back,
Hmm.
which they did.
And Gideon, great villain. Really expanded on the universe quite a bit. I thought at least.
Yeah, I would agree. You saw the Outer
Um,
Rim. You saw the New Republic. You saw
I
like
re
native people and villages. You saw
So what?
real bases. Sorry.
No, I'm so sorry. I keep interrupting. I'm getting really excited. But what did you think were the best characters in the show?
The best character, like the best
Or
character.
characters?
Let's see here. I really like Mayfield. I really like, Din Djarin.
Hmm.
I actually liked Grogu less this season.
I would agree because I guess some of his mystery was taken away.
Well, also because he just kind of like annoyed me, you know.
Yeah, he was kind of a brat.
Um, okay, let's see here. I'm trying to think of all the characters. Boba Fett, fantastic. The lady assassin, I think her name is Fennec, fantastic. I thought Bo-Katan was good, but just kind of like her thinking was bad though, in a lot of
Yeah,
situations.
she was a good character to hate, I think. Um,
Yeah.
I I I would be okay. Like I said before, I don't know if she's dead. I know she was shot at. But I'd be okay if she's dead.
I would watch this with my brother, and he's like, "I hope Sasha Banks' character is dead." And I was like,
What? She's so cool.
"Well, I think he doesn't like her because of the whole Boba thing, which I kind of feel
Oh,
that."
okay. Yeah, I get that.
He's like, "I hope," he's like, "I hope she dies," you know?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like you're with Bo-Katan. I mean, honestly, if Katan dies, I would be okay. But I feel like they could take away from like a plot line between her
Maybe.
and Din.
Yeah, I agree. Somewhat. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Moff Gideon was the best character.
Moff Gideon is also an amazing character. I think my favorite one is actually Mayfield, even though he appeared only one episode. I don't know why, but I like that episode so much. I like it
I think
so
that's pretty
much.
fair. It's a really good episode.
And from what I've
So
seen of Mayfield, just like I didn't see like anything really bad with him this season.
very true. I agree. Um, some weaknesses of the show now.
They okay. This is people might be upset with this kind of thing, but like I feel like the kind of what Marvel did with like the feminist agenda thing, like what they tried to do with the Mandalorian in this last episode. They show usually they did pretty good the whole season with like showing female characters being BA, and it was actually cool. Like Cara Dune, and like I think it was episode 4 when they do the siege. She was cool. Fennec, the time when she was killing all those stormtroopers, that was cool. Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks and the other Mandalorian guy, they were kicking butt in that episode. But then you bring them all together to have this kind of like big like feminist moment, and it doesn't make like strategic
Yeah, you didn't
sense.
feel like it needed to happen.
It didn't need to happen because
Yeah,
they all you already
I
showed
get
they're all
that.
BA. You add
Yeah,
them
like
and like the like some other characters, it would have been fine.
I totally agree with that. I think I already liked Cara Dune a lot. Like Cara Dune, I think is an amazing character.
Yeah, but then they made her
Uh,
stupid, reloading out of cover with a big gun or trying to unjam her gun, taking no cover. That was dumb. She's smart. She's a rebel, like shock trooper. She would
and
not
I,
do that.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm just getting upset because to have that moment, they made everyone there, kind of slightly stupid. To have this moment.
yeah, agreed. Um, I say another weakness is the pacing of the show. I think we've talked about this before. Each episode's done by different directors, so the show seems different every time you watch an episode.
The pacing for the first like 2 episodes was definitely bad. I didn't like the pacing of the Ahsoka episode either.
I didn't either. I know Dave Filoni did that episode. I'm gonna have to say a weakness is Ahsoka. I know a lot of people loved Ahsoka, but
I would agree.
I personally did not like that version of Ahsoka where she's like enlightened but still like a jerk. Like I don't even know. It was kind of
Yeah.
like Ahsoka,
She was
but
jaded.
also
Really jaded.
yes, that's a good word. Uh, she's not my favorite character. I will say in the Clone Wars,
Well, yeah, I think
but
you and I both don't like her in general, or at least I don't like her in general.
I mean, I like her, but also she's not my favorite, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I told you I liked her until the last season of Clone Wars, which you still haven't caught up on.
yeah. Um, I need to.
Okay, I had a whole like long debate with someone about Ahsoka when that episode that like the final when the whole season was done. I had a whole debate with someone about Ahsoka's character, and it got pretty heated. So, and I can see the perspective, but like when you finally watch it, I want to hear your opinion, and you may disagree with me, and I want to talk about it for
All right, when
sure.
I finally watch the final season of Clone Wars, we will talk about it. Um, I watched a little bit of Rebels, right? I feel like everybody did. I haven't seen every episode,
Yeah.
but I feel like Ahsoka was done a lot better within
Oh
Rebels
yeah, I
than she
liked
was in
Ahsoka and
this.
Rebels. 'Cause Rebels
And it
came
didn't
out
feel like,
before the final season of of Clone Wars. Yeah.
yeah, it didn't feel like the same character. The growth, they kind of declined a little bit, I'd have to say. Um, I'd also say a weakness. Let me think of another weakness. I had one in my head.
I mean, wasting time is a big weakness that they had. They
Yes, agreed. The second episode was not needed at all.
Each episode is actually only like 30 minutes. And so when you have like each episode's like 30 minutes or 30 to 40 minutes and you only have 8 of them. And you have episodes like number 2 and the pacing's all wacky on a lot of episodes. It takes time away from like the overall like how much time you actually
Story.
get out of it.
Hmm. Oh, this is a big one right here. Different characters being like plot armor. Different characters had plot armor. I'd have to say, I would extend that kind of to Sasha Banks' character against Boba Fett. I guess different characters' power levels varied. Is a good way to say that.
Yeah.
Um, like Boba Fett, he should be able to beat anyone. Like anyone he comes up against. Maybe not Luke, but maybe also he could. Maybe not that version of Luke. I was going to
Well,
say maybe he could
Boba's old
Santo
now,
Deco.
so that you could say that,
But
but
I disagree. I
but
don't think that
Boba
has
is
anything.
he's still Boba Fett though.
Agreed. I still think he would beat most people he comes up against, like including Jedi.
I think you're right about the plot armor thing. I think a lot like if Bo-Katan definitely has plot armor because she should be dead after that that gun like after what Gideon did.
She might be. I don't know if she is though.
Yeah, she might be. I don't know, but I mean Mandalorian has plot armor because he's the main character. Cara
Yes.
Dune
Oh,
has plot armor. She has plot armor.
or yeah. So this is a major problem with the show. I have a hard time supporting a hero that can't be hurt. I mean, he can be hurt, but he can't. You know.
One thing I don't know if they would ever do this, but like in the third season, they should have like an episode where his armor gets like lost or something. He has to like survive without it. But they kind of did something like that with him wearing different armor, and it just got beat up. So
Yeah.
if he didn't
But he
have that
also
armor,
did
he
pretty
would
well.
die in like a bunch of situations. He would die from the Dark Trooper. Ahsoka would have killed him on the spot. Um, Gideon would have killed him. I mean, all the spiders would have killed. He would be dead in so many ways.
But I think Gideon wasn't trying to kill him either.
I disagree.
No, I think I'll tell you why I don't think he was trying to kill him.
Man was
Because I think
wailing
he
on
was
him, Lincoln. He was going
no,
just like mad with the lightsaber.
yeah, I
He
know
treated it
that,
like a
but
baseball
when he
bat,
got up,
not like a sword.
when he got up, yeah, I know that, but I think that was just he knew Beskar was lightsaber resistant,
Well,
and
PR
you saw
Beskars.
But when he got up to the room and he tries to hand Bo Katan the dark saber, he says she can't take it. She can't take the lightsaber or the dark saber. And I think he knew that and was trying to get them to kill each other, which,
Well,
or at least
I
that's
think it
my
was more like
interpretation.
on the fly because it's like once Mando beat Gideon and like he pointed the gun at him or whatever he pointed at him, and he just kind of stopped. He's like, "Oh, so you decided to leave me alive." And once he
Yeah,
realized he was gonna be able to live, he's like, "Okay, this works too. Let me just hand him the lightsaber, pretty much. Let me just not explain anything and just let this happen." And then he tries to kill himself later. So I
yeah, but
mean,
also,
yeah.
I guess you can interpret it in different ways, but I saw it as like Moff Gideon's kind of he has everything planned in his head before it happens. So that's kind of how I saw it, like kind of like a Thrawn, but not
Not as
as
Thrawn.
good. If that makes any sense, that's a perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, a Thrawn without
um,
the blue.
but I guess that is interesting that we have different interpretations of that scene.
Well, we're allowed to have different opinions here.
Yeah, it goes to show that you can't, even though we saw the same thing, we didn't see the same thing, if that makes any sense, you
Yeah,
know?
like I like episode 7 more than episode 8 of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
You're the opposite.
Overall, pretty good season. I really like how Disney's diversifying with TV shows. That's the smartest move Disney's made, and for Star Wars, in my
Well, this
opinion.
is kind of the perfect time to be doing that, to be honest.
It is. They got the timing was really good for them.
And so everyone's jumping on their streaming services, like HBO Max is doing their thing with putting all their movies there. I mean, Disney Plus is doing all their movies and TV shows, kind of just going to be there. I mean, they're doing a bunch of stuff like that.
I thought that was really good.
So, this is it's been about an hour. Do we have anything else to say about Mandalorian season 2?
Mandalorian season 2, really good. Go watch, I don't know why you'd be watching this if you haven't watched it, but really good for the future of Star Wars in it. I think if you're a Star Wars fan,
It's the arrow
this
for
is
the Arrowverse.
this is awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
That's all we have to say about that. We talked for a while on it.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it more than I expected, but that's actually a good thing.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack. Went through each episode. Mandalorian. One thing about it is it starts off slow, always. Then it always becomes like a banger, at the end.
Yeah. I'm always expecting from the future now on to have episode 2 be the worst episode.
Yeah.
Because in the first season it was the Mudhorn and Jawa, where the Jawa just ate the Mudhorn egg, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, like it would just take out like a machete thing and just starts dipping their hands in like it's toilet paper at Walmart during the pandemic. You ever seen those memes? It's good stuff, man.
No.
But yeah.
All right. Well, comment down below your favorite episode, maybe why, and also your favorite character.
Also,
I personally
Merry
like
Christmas.
Moff Gideon. What? Oh yes, Merry Christmas. And if you took your time out of your day to watch this, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great rest of your day too.
Yeah. You guys have a good one. See you next time.
All right.